Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Give It a Shot. Give It a Shot is a first impression series where I play a game I've never played before, and I say if it's worth playing a little bit more up to date on Give It a Shot is KONA. It's supposed to be, again, it's kind of a walking simulator-y type thing, but it's supposed to also be a thriller. So I don't know. You know, we've been a little off our game for spooky Give It a Shots this year, but hopefully this will give us a little something.
Carl Faubert sought information for a living. That is to say that ever since he returned from Korea, after having served with the armed forces, he had been working as a private investigator in Montreal. William Hamilton, a rich industrialist, had gotten in touch with him regarding a simple vandalism issue. Nothing to write home about. Not worth hiring a private eye either, just so he can drive for hours on rough roads. But that's how it had always been. The client pays, Carl gets it done.
We're going, that's on me, everyone. I did not realize I had control. I thought I was just watching a thing. I was looking at my phone. That's on me.
Store, his client's business. Well, actually, the entire village had William Hamilton's name written all over it. Were bad, muddy, or snowed in, it was customary around these parts to close them off. But it was also customary to ignore those signs entirely and drive there anyway.
Yeah, bro. How often does a road need to be closed to require 2 picnic tables at its gates? Wonderful question. 1 empty bottle. Grab the bottle! Cool, dude. I like that. It's cool art. Well, let's see what's up here in this watchtower. Nice.
Emperor Duplessis, in spite of his conservative agenda, did a good job in colonizing the rural north, which helped to re-establish the region as an integral part of the province of Quebec. The blue fleur-de-lis could be seen fluttering in the wind here and there, taunting the red Canadian flags on the other side of the province's boundaries.
Okay, great. Little history lesson there about Quebec.
Never in his life had Carl thought he would one day drive further north than Chibougamau.
Chibougamau! Interesting, Carl. Chibougamau indeed.
Carl was meeting his client in a store near this area. He was on the right track.
He was on the right track. Baby! It will be good. That's it? Oh, okay. Northern Quebec and its inexhaustible resources. The county. I don't want to read all that. Feel free to pause the video and read all that if you'd like. Okay. I think that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and remove this road closure sign.
A road blocking barrier. Why was it needed here in the back of Beyond? That would, however, be a mystery for another day. Carl had waited long enough for someone to come and raise it. Still not a soul in sight. There was no point in
the car noise is really, really loud.
To figure this one out by himself. Hamilton is waiting for Carl in the general store. It was time for him to get down to business. William Hamilton enjoyed a lavish country house built in the very heart of the northern forests, not too far from here. The local populace was divided when it came to the affluent man. Some saw a wealthy philanthropist dedicated to improving the region's economy. Others an aging Englishman who would do anything to further his fortunes. And those ones hated him enough to go on about scheming against him. Hamilton had recently acquired a few local businesses. But the last straw was the reopening of a mine, which gave rise to a wave of protests and threats from the Cree people. Given these circumstances, Carl reckoned that a good number of people must be feeling compelled to oppose Hamilton in one way or another. So far, only the industrialist's house had been
Oh!
soon enough, Carl thought.
He's still talking. He's like,
Become
Carl thought a thing, blah, blah, blah. And meanwhile, he's careening off the road. Oh my gosh. Look out! And Carl thought the careening of the thing was good.
Carl needed to get out of there. The cold and the pain required urgent care.
Like he's listening to an audiobook. KONA. Well, certainly not spooky, but we have learned a lot about Quebec, I guess.
The driver had taken off. It was still best to check it out and leave nothing to chance. Carl needed help.
Can I, Oh, hello, Isabel.
Such heart-wrenching Nordic poetry that was. But Carl didn't care much about it.
I'm just trying to figure out if I can duck down. Might be a useful thing to be able to do.
This deep in the country, his last hope was to find an abandoned garage or a farm by the roadside. His life depended on it.
You know what this reminds me of? It's, I forget what it's called. But it's a survival game where you're, like, in the frosty wilderness, just like this.
Carl wondered how long he would have to endure this skin-stinging cold.
Probably a long time, buddy. Sorry to tell you. Oh.
But better than he had hoped. Carl Faubert had succeeded once more, and was now on his way to new adventures.
Should I start a fire? Wow, a flashlight. Great. Well, let's put the chains on our tires. Do I have to do it? No, I just have to do it once. Oh, neat. Look at that. Warm up his body. I already warmed up my body.
Carl, ever diligent in his work, always carried a thought in which he scribbled down thoughts and leads alike during the course of his investigations.
Hey, you know what could warm him up is getting in the car and turning on the heat, bud. Carl loved driving in the snow as long as he had air in his tires. Loved slipping and sliding, put some chains on there.
Spread out on a few acres of untouched forest, bellowing caribou, everlasting snow, and undefiled lakes. The Manistan region was no tourist hub. It was said to have been populated for millennia by Cree people, and ever since the industrial era, by the metal mining industry.
He also loved the great nation of Quebec.
Had without a doubt been the closest man in the village to William Hamilton, otherwise known as Uncle Willie. The truck was running on fumes. Good thing that the general store was close by.
Rendezvous! Hopefully there's some gas here. Am I right, brother? Maybe I should turn the car off.
Something fell to the bottom of the box.
Oh, hey, he's dead.
Carl had no trouble recognizing his employer. He had been killed. There was no need to be a detective to figure that out. But only a detective could have noticed that the killer had to have been very close, that the fatal blow had been given before the victim even realized.
That's a keeper. Yeah, we're gonna want that.
What could be inside that envelope?
I don't
Carl
know.
was taken aback.
Let's read
He
it.
knew this address. It was said to be the address of the P.O. box for the Canadian Secret Service.
Welcome to beautiful Klondike. Punch the price. Sale 2 times. Punch the machine. Alright. Whoa. Oh my gosh.
Maintaining his composure, Carl recalled something from his military training. Wolves always stay away from populated areas. Wait, was it about bears?
Oh dear. This is pretty good. I like what this is setting up here. Okay, let's turn it on the generator.
Carl knew that Gilles Lachance was in charge of the general store. That made him one of Hamilton's employees. A very angry employee, as Carl could plainly see.
The key.
According to that log, it seemed like the whole village owed some money to the general store. Carl was far more interested in the bunch of nearby addresses he had just gotten his hands on, though.
Cool. Carl was interested in the nearby. Oh yeah, I guess don't step on the dead body.
A radiator without power is as good as a wood stove without logs.
Amen. Hey, nice.
What was that doing there? Carl wondered. Hamilton must have been determined to keep some information secret to post this key. Shame he got unlucky. Everything made sense now. Poor Hamilton's denunciation was interrupted, and he figured it would be best to lock everything up and send the key to his correspondent, who would receive the box later on. Clever,
Fair enough, man.
but not enough. That's what happens to ordinary people playing spy.
Really?
Carl was used to strange phenomena, but a chunk of ice like this, as if an iceberg came out of the ground, that was a first.
You're telling me, dude.
Carl found a surprise at every turn. Was the camera faulty, or was there a possible lead?
Ah, very clever, Carl.
Hate was in the air. Seems like some villagers barely tolerated each other.
Well, that's a community, I guess. What can you do?
Staring intently at the controls won't be enough to make that lift budge. The poor thing was out of power.
Oh, okay, so I have to get the generator rolling. Open! Whoa, what? Oh, it opened out that way. La 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 la.
Carl was
Oh,
an
nice.
electrician, but he could identify a wiring problem when he saw one.
Great. Okay, so we'll run from the generator to the garage. Here we go. We've got power, baby. What good did that do? Oh.
At long last, the crowbar was within Carl's grasp. Surely it would come in handy at some point.
Wham! You can hit things with it. Carol! Should we buy gas?
The monks wouldn't surrender their divine nectar so easily. In all likelihood, they had to be switched on from inside the store.
Ah. And I bet we're going to have to use some power from the generator in order to do that. Even a broken clock is alright choice to me. Alright, I'm outside pump 2. Give me your divine nectar. Also, still might be wise to turn off your car when you're not in it.
Straight away, where to find the infuriated Gilles Lachance. Any good investigation would have to start there.
Any poopy in the toilet?
Carl felt that the store and its surroundings still held their secrets, and he didn't like to miss out.
Oh my gosh.
Carl wondered what the hell could that thing be.
It's a Sasquatch, buddy.
Fossilized in ice. All of a sudden, Carl felt like he was pulled inside a world of dreams.
Whoa!
Unknown dimension. Somehow, self-control was slipping from his grasp.
Oh, this is sweet, dude. The beast enjoys the long slumber.
Better yet, a war diary. What could these engraved numbers mean?
Was it 739?
A fresh path suddenly appeared before Carl.
Freeze! Wait, will there be something here? No? Okay.
Carl had that feeling you get when you immerse your frozen hands in hot water. What happened? Now at least he knew who the unfortunate man petrified in ice was. Gilles Lachance, the general store's manager himself.
Oh, what a bummer, dude. Sorry, man.
The Polaroid, Carl's long-standing and faithful ally, had seen its share of husbands caught red-handed cheating.
Nice.
There's always something out there waiting to be snapped away. That had to be the worst parking job ever. Who was Carl to judge, though? It may be customary to park like that around these parts, or not. A milkman had to drive by every week to fill the bottle. The fresh milk indicated a recent visit.
Well, I guess we'll get back in. Been there, done that. I don't really know where I'm headed to.
The track was fresh. That meant the car sunk down just a little while ago. Now where the hell could the passengers possibly have gone? Someone had been playing with a crossbow here. A very dangerous game. A bolt could hit someone's tire or their eye. It could even kill someone if the aim was right.
Well, clearly they went that away.
Someone must have dropped this in a hurry, but whoever did was heading into the woods. Carl's tracking instincts were quickly kicking in.
Aha, the ice.
Carl knew what he was suddenly shivering. He was going back to the realm of visions. Carl had no issue recognizing the spirit-like figures, but he couldn't figure out what they wanted from him. The phantom, free
This one has
of reality's
boobies.
shackles,
Check
vanished
that
in
out.
the forest.
Nice, dude.
Earlier, Carl had witnessed a tragedy that befell it. The further Carl moved away from the ice block, the more his senses came back to him.
Okay. Well, there's nothing I can do about that right now, boy. And back in we go. Wide turns, wide turns.
A wintry atmosphere surrounded the house. The soundlessness of the area suggested it was empty.
There's the other
When
boot.
finding a boot, one wonders what became of the foot.
What's this all about?
The snowstorm pummeled everything in its path. Carl was not surprised when he heard no tone. The key, which seemed to be meant for a padlock, bore an inscription reading Cloutier et Fils. A company name. Better keep an eye open. Businesses weren't exactly numerous around these parts. Money in a jar. What a shame. Carl would have loved cookies.
Carl would have loved cookie.
A pay stub for some undoubtedly harsh lumberjack work.
Nice.
Alexandre Blais felled trees and chopped woods for Cloutier et Fils. The spirograph amused Carl. It was a nice modern toy, aside from being repetitive by nature and completely useless. Still, it found its way into many Quebecois homes. It was so cold. Already Carl did not feel his toes anymore.
Quit your belly aching. Le Monstre. Okay, now things are cooking up a little bit.
The sheets were in such a way that indicated a rude awakening, followed by a
Close
hurried
the
escape.
window.
What had happened here? A window left open in that weather? Perhaps something had to be watched.
Wow, yeah, these guys are being stalked by a monstre. Yeah, okay, this is getting pretty sweet. Oh, dear lord. Hello? Oh, it's a wolf! Hey, little buddy. I'm gonna have to shoot you. I don't know how, but I'm gonna do it. Oh, never mind. I don't have to shoot you. I will. Don't you tempt me. Alright, everyone. Well, hey, you know what? That's going to do it. This was KONA. I love the way that it's starting out. I wouldn't exactly call it super scary right now, but there are definitely elements of it that are indicating it's going to get pretty wild pretty quick. I enjoyed it. I'm going to play more of this. I'll probably play it through. I like the exploration of it all. It looks nice, certainly. And I'm enjoying Carl's company. Thanks for joining me for Give It a Shot. I'm going to see you guys next time. Goodbye.